Hey everyone. So today I wanted to show my restroom, my shower room, and then I have some night lights I want to show and how I maintain my restroom. These phone stands are not very supportive, but they have harder ones. Basically, the lighting. There are differences with okay, so these are night lights, right? And their voltage is only 7 watts. It comes with a fuse, and you can change it. So at nighttime, these are very comforting. Excuse me, not comforting, but these are very mind bonding or mind easing. And excuse my shirt, I had to support some of the Japanese designers or Japanese label. This is a Bathing Ape. Yeah. And let me try to clip tighter. Let me use some bandage, old bandage. Okay, the clip is harder now. And if you ask how to clean the mirrors, it's always wet and then dry it. And then the way you dry it, you have to find something more absorbent. And excuse my hands. So these are only 7 watts. And let me turn off the lights and you can see the difference with just a night light there. And what I wanted to talk about today is that and some of my restroom supplies, because I plan to move. And then there are some really neat and practical and useful, resourceful items, merchandises. Although they're not popularized, they're not commonly used, but they're definitely useful for either having it inside the household or at the street somewhere as a store. And people do sell used items here. First, turn off the lights, and you can see that it is dimmer, right? And this is how Americans prefer at night. And it is mind easing. Your brain, you can feel that it is not tensed. And turn off the fan, the suction fan, the air ventilation. Yeah. So these, sometimes I can't buy the many color ones, so I have to go to the unisex store. If they sell one male man item, it's a unisex store. Yeah. So what else? I often have 2 toothbrushes. Yeah. And some of my college age peers probably still use that as a conversation topic and see who's naive or lame, biased, scouting, fishing, hunting, searching, and things, head hunting. And whenever I do this, sometimes like I try to hold back a laugh, or bust out in laughters. What else? So these in English, and excuse me for saying the B word again, burns out sometimes too quickly or too often because of electricity inconsistency. And the one you cannot buy in Hong Kong yet, or very hard to find, or you have to buy on eBay, is the one with the sensor, the light sensor. Partially because in Hong Kong there are streets and I can say very professional and focused studies that they have the tools to take these apart. So in case they take out the light sensors, they can hook it up to smartphones or alarm clocks or watches, or just, you know, something that you don't need to focus on or concentrate on. So they are the ones with the light sensors are not that popular. Maybe the sound sensors for phones, but yeah. And it's only 7 watts and you can change the light bulbs, I guess. And usually that's just unusual in Hong Kong because many of the siblings, they share the same room, and nowadays with battery bank or battery chargers, the pocket size one, they have built-in night lights or other usages. So I use this one for the restroom, and that is very mind easing. And I don't really like these heated fans. Alright, so what else? Let me turn back on the lights and show you some of the items. Okay, so for example, I made a shelf because I wanted to be one single wipe. And then I usually put hair products on one side and then hand products on one side. On the upper shelf there are the scents and the hygiene products, and then I looked at the shelves. It was kind of dangerous to have a platform of glass, so I prefer plastic. With mirrors, I'm very sensitive with mirrors. I always assume that the reflection can sometimes be a distraction. So during shower, I usually cover the top at least. And for one, I have a pet peeve. I always prefer beige towels when I was in America. But when I came back from Los Angeles, everybody uses white because I think white color has indication of purity. White color can be reproduced easier. White color can be easier to identify stain spots, and white towels are just good, right? So beige towels, these are usually from the Westerner stores, and I have one white and one beige, just in case. If I don't want to ruin my day. Yeah, and then by the time I finish a email to the local police or the other bureaus, and knowing some of my previous classmates made it into uniform services, by the time I finish that, I would ruin my meal and my moods. So I usually have 2 towels, yeah, at least. So when it comes to moving into a house, most Chinese say 燈油火蠟衣食住行, and then they talk about the community resources. So light means utility bills, 油 means cooking oil, 火 means more utility, gas and food cooking habits, maintenance fee or maintenance fee. 蠟 means lighting again, and possibly more. And then the 衣食住行 is clothing, eating, sleeping, and walking. And then I usually, talk about hygiene and all that. So at the very beginning, when you are uncertain, and people live full of uncertainties sometimes, until you study someone extensively and understand how they feel comfortable and how they feel at ease all the time. Not at ease, but confident. And then I think that it is important to evaluate. And I remember I moved to so I grew up, or I studied in the South District of this area before, and I chose the North District to step aside. I was only 20, I was in my 20s, and when I arrived there, I wanted to show that the apartment was tiny, like tiny, and I couldn't move too much. So what I did was move everything against the wall, kind of a shelf, or just one shelf, and then I couldn't even decide. I could not decide where to put a laundry machine. And I looked down from the window. There were cover on the bridges, and I went out to eat lunch, and the children wore school uniform on weekends, but they looked extremely, very much polite and cordial, studious, well-mannered, nice, neat, confident that they know that their community is safe. And then I decided not to wear what they say unique design clothes or more capitalistic kind of clothing, and not stylish too much. I knew that my body frame is considered to be standard to Americans. It was Americans are approximately 5'7", a standard. I was 5'9". Shoulder width wise and you know, agility and flexibility and coordination, it was standard or above standard. And once you get to the standard, people would just stop testing each other and just kind of have a mutual respect and mutual understanding that there are some kind of reserves. So that's how it was. Then at well, let's not say the city, but North District, I couldn't decide where to put the washer and dryer, so I bought a clothing wash board, and I was asking for wood. They gave me plastic, and what it is a piece of board with railings, and you can go up easy, but when it comes down, it drains the water out. And I'll show you a picture. Let me get my phone and show you a picture, right? Let me get my other phone and show you the picture. Cloth wash boards. Okay, so these are cloth wash boards. These are the very traditional kind, and then these are the more hall usages, not for household, maybe for a whole hallway or a big mansion back in the time. And let's see the plastic kind. So these are the newer usage or newer production or newer usages, plastic. And if you look at it, it is easy to go up, but harder to go down most of the time. This one doesn't go both ways. I mean, this one is easier. And these can clean out some of the stains or the spots. This one? I just remember, well, let's not talk about that one. The color. And then I bought a bunk bed, one and one on top of each other, similar to a officer bed inside some of the ships in naval services, or kind of dorm room, you know, or special housing. Dorm rooms are usually 2 people per room, and then the popular universities might have 3 to 4 people inside one room, or maybe even a bigger dorm or bigger usages. And I put my some of my clothing on the top, I think, and then I took down the top shelf later on. So some of the clothes, definitely you hang them, and then some of the clothes, underwears, and well, let's just say undies. undies or underclothing, undergarment, fold the clothing or by folding. And then usually when you get to a community, people look at your sleeping pattern, your work cycles, your neatness, your bookkeeping, your housekeeping skills, your health indicators, your eyes. When you go out, are you always on alert? Or are you kind of and those might be people who are just comfortable, not necessarily lazy. Are you eager to talk? Are you eager to please? Are you eager to earn people knowing your name? And then the city was very segregated. There were the public housing, and then it looked like a imaginary borderline with the private housing, with the public utilities and community resources in the central part. And the building name kind of alarmed me. It's that Landmark. I said, like, Landmark? You know. So I knew there were the older district, the newer district public housing, the newer district private investors housing, and there were bridges that goes that connects. And then I went by the common working schedule, the MTR railway, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, definitely the most busiest, and you can't even walk that much in a fast pace. And then there was the weekends. On Sundays, everybody rested, and I decided to introduce myself to church. Yeah. And it was okay. Went a few times. Pay my dues, because in the proper American budgeting is 10% of your salary or budget to the church. And then, given the rental value and other resources, yeah, it was a mutual, same mutual, yeah. And then there was a big project among the community, and people were just, wow, I've never seen that kind of investment at the older district and the public housing district. I said, keep calm. I said, I think I mentioned it. It is according to median income of each household combined by the average of headcount. And you calculate people that are still under your name or raised there. And you have people like me coming back from Western world, arriving and sharing word processing speed and file management and some kind of indication and demonstration of self-discipline and self-motivation, identifying hope by value and choices. And then that was the pointing that it's okay, it's all median income. At that time, Hong Kong was still $7,000, $8,000 minimum salary, and I don't mean seven exact thousand. I mean 7,000 upwards, approximately 7,700, because the exchange rate was approximately that kind of number, and that was one of my reminders. And then there were the community resources and sports grounds and food halls, and understanding the cultural clash or cultural differences of new immigrants, Hong Kong natives, the original farmers, kind of, the retired, the original settlers, and then me. The young and disciplined, or the aim high achievers, or the demonstrating person. So with the community resources and always respectful and a little bit curious and giving acknowledgement, you know, when you somehow kind of face to face, and possibly potentially being in the same elevator. Yeah. So time passed by regularly according to the rental contract, and it was good. It was decent. It was nice. It was fine, and there were extra events, extra opportunities for youths to have platforms to show their learning and hobbies, and how they can have the time to have hospitalities, to cater their information and their time to show their schools learned information and their self-interpretation of society needs. So that was good. That was a good exchange of understanding, and it was surprising because I tried to test some of the kind of instantaneous responses. So I was looking into a traveler's book. I pointed at some person that was from the outer islands, and then somehow she showed up at one of the stores that I needed to buy the household items. And I looked at, okay, and and usually I acknowledge those kind of factors, but I would not. Let me see. Is the tape rolling? Yeah, it is. And I acknowledge those factors, but I would not have confrontation. Or confrontation doesn't mean clash or conflict or bicker or argument. Confrontation means just you know, maybe a verbal response, and yeah, it has to be her or look alike or a clone. Yeah, so and then let me show you some of these restroom items. So main focus today is the night light that is able to create some moods. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna turn off the lights again. 3, 2, 1. And look how gentle the lights can be. And when you feel gentle, you talk gentle. So that's how I cultivate myself. Until you have to step into another scene. Yeah, so at nighttime, then you're like, somebody miss me? And then let's look at some of the items, right? And turn back on the lights. And if they are fuses or they are there's the line on these I can't just open these easily because there's a small screw. But with the older light bulbs, there can be needs to replace the fuse, and with that burnt, you have to know that the replacement and things. So what am I talking about is that you have approximately 30 seconds to 3 minutes that you have to let these rest, because the moment you turn on, the instant electricity is a spark, and say it is a sound wise is a ohm. They call it ohm, the ohm calculation or the watts calculation. So if it is at a very warm condition and you spark it with the wattage, then it might be over the capacity and there goes another light bulb. So LED lights. So you have to look at the light bulbs and see if they're LED lights or the fuses, or they, yeah, fuse or woos. Some people say woos, some people say fuse, or some people say conventional or traditional light bulbs. So let's turn back on the brighter lights. I don't know if you know, but there are housing design situations where they might claim a housing design to be mind cultivating, and that's why I have these. Light tubes. Yeah. So wash my hands again. Yeah. Did you know that after 11 o'clock you use the water, it might be considered a complaint case in some places? So let me show you some of my shower room supplies. Number one, I always have a plunger, and the old plungers look something different. These are the old plungers. These are the heavy duty, bigger volume, bigger pump handling, bigger strength plungers. I always have detergents. I don't use powder much. Yeah. I always have a sweep and dustpan. I always have a mop, but I always use the bucket. Have you seen people with the hand twisting it? I'm very much don't like that. The whole dustpan. I mean the whole hand twisting mop, because I wear my shoes inside the house sometimes. So that's the difference. A lot of Asians and Orientals, they do not wear their shoes because they have housekeepers, or they have housewives, or they have their own housewife, or housewives if they have a few generation of housewives. In Hong Kong, the building names, they have something named house, they have something named court, they have something named building, they have something named mansion, it's a building, they have something named towers. Tower is building. What else? Garden. Garden is usually outdoor. Hey, you like it? I'll give you her number. Just kidding. You like, I mean, the clothes. I mean, or the, you know, the book. You can ask her for the book titles. And then there is the other items that I might show you. Some bleach. Yeah, some bleach. Touch-up jobs. Extra paint, possibly, but always write that down on your contract. That's my left hand. Write it down your contract. So I usually list what is a fixture, what is bringing in. Fixture are things that are attached to the wall already. You screw it in, is a fixture. If you have tools, you have to report it, even a screwdriver. Not coins. Yeah. Keychain. Yeah. Stationaries. Children sometimes follow these things, so you gotta be careful. And then sometimes you can look at the design of the interior design to get a sense or get an understanding how your surrounding might want to preserve you before you can have a instantaneous kind of fast-paced mate. Then you have to evaluate and analyze and compare your options. And sometimes there are ways that you can have options, so don't be overly sad or think negative. Yeah. These are not fixtures. Suction cups. They're not considered fixtures. So that's my realty work experience. And then there is the gray line. There's black and white and gray line. If you have an electric wire connection from the plugs out and connect your device, that's a fixture. So what you need is pull out, have a plug in to plug it in, then it's okay. So those are the clear understanding. So that's what your consultants and counsels supposed to know. And then you can have a next stage of move out if you will have a security deposit or a safe deposit of 1 month, or the most in America is 2 months, I think. But of course, a lot of the contracts are open contracts. And then you have 1 month to list out what you do not agree with, or what you find to be, what you discover to be out of the ordinary. So those are the kind of mind games, or let's see who knows more, and let's see who might be uncomfortable when it comes to business. So I have a bad habit. If you look at my hand, it's ticking. Because I had a neighbor who had a ticking clock. And it was so loud. And every hour, it would have an indicator comes out from the clock. I didn't go into the house much, but it was a kind of TikTok situation. And I didn't like that. But I respect that, and it was a part of culture until everybody learns, or everybody kind of discover one day, and hey, I think we have to kind of have a new design of clocks, because that thing, I mean, thanks that, hey buddy, you pulled me out of the situation, or I'm so glad I'm like, you know, out of that situation, that, you know, that project. And you know what was really bugging me, or really irritated me, or gotten on my nerves? It was that clock at his office. So, ticking. And if you can keep focused, that's how psychiatrists know you're sane, not insane. Because insane people usually, oftentimes, have kind of a hidden agenda or chain of thoughts, one lead to the other, feeling anxious, unconfident of the surrounding circle of human intelligence by the modern day's education system. Let me get a drink of water. And sometimes I drink the tap water. Let's talk about more items that I might have that might be unique. I cut my own hair, right? I told you. So from here, I look into the mirror. I know how to cut my hair and contour the back. So it's not flat, it's, you know, kind of okay. And then these are foot buckets, but they have I bought the wrong one, but since I bought the wrong one, I just want to stack it, so I bought the double foot. I could have bought the single foot size, yeah, but I thought it was very well shaped. And the other one is here. And the other one's here. And overstack each other, so that's good. And sometimes people break the plastic a piece. I don't know why. They want to see how hard it is, or see if people might throw it out. And I keep it next to the piece until the accountancy cycle ends. And I'll make sure I throw it far away. Huh. Wash my hands again. So if you discover that your drainage pipe is not connected straight to the bottom with the water dripping sound, then you can use the drain however you like. I meant whenever you want. Always pay your taxes. That's one thing. So when they tell you the Chinese 灯油火蜡 and clothing and things, taxes is important. And prepaid tax or a tax filing. And you can always submit a payment. So these are the things that people have to understand. I have a clock and a notepad in some of these rooms. So for example, I have a clock here. I keep a pen in my pocket. And more pen. And now that at my age and my comfortabilities, I have a golden pen. And I keep a small notebook inside the restroom if I was living by myself, and I usually live by myself so far. So that's all. There are hangers that you can buy in Asia for your clothing if you don't have one of these, or you just want to remind yourself or have a more thoughtful self decorations for your place, your unit, your housing space. So this is one of the popular usage or household items. Maybe not this big, but you can hang these. And then people see your style, and then your classmates might know that you have what kind of taste and what kind of lifestyle you like. And then the dots, yeah. For example, if a teenage girl or Sweet 16 or a young adult have floral kind of socks, it might be an indicator that they like to be adored, or they like to be looked at, while some people wear gray shades and keep away or look at me. Not necessarily shy, but camera shy. So camera shy is the slang word, or the subculture, or the popular culture, pop culture kind of description. So with the socks and with the gloves or the clothing, the brighter and the more catchy, the more ambitious, the more they see that they want their life change, either for an opportunity, for a season, for a TV show, for a film, or for life. So that's why it is smart for parents to spend on one of these. So what else do I have here? Vacuum cleaner might be a waste of electricity. And I remember the Japanese culture having the tatami, the bamboo material, fabric, the bamboo strands, fabric items, and the children sometimes, you know, go through the floor. And that's a very traditional kind of Oriental culture. And I reflected back once, and I said, I think I can enjoy these kind of days. And it would be nice if I can have a hammock. Hammock is the netted swing beds under the sun, feeling the ocean breeze, reading a novel. And then I decided that in modern society, it is a team effort among team efforts that people have to play their roles according to what they know and what they're willing to share for their earnings of paychecks and the earnings of investment. So that's how it was. And hopefully these are informational. and the pace that I'm talking is just night time and getting ready for bed after a long day, looking like looking similar to busy bees, hornets, busy bees, or looking like ants, or looking like brainchild, or looking like a brainiac. And then next, one more. It's the blow dryer. I always aim to buy a blow dryer that is 2 switches, that has fan speed and heat speed. And in that case, in that sense, this Japanese manufacturer design came up with a 2-button kind of ways. That is heat and fan speed. And up here is they call it the ionic kind of blow dryer. Yeah, blow dryer can be dangerous, can be dangerous, because if you hold it back, or you try to blow your socks, blow dry your socks, that's what happens. So for example, I had been in situations where I have to dry my socks overnight. So that's how you do it. Whoa, don't throw things. And then you can blow dry your hair and things. But remember, don't have the hair blow dryer next to the shower tub or the bathtub, like I had said so many times. Because the heat tube inside is not waterproof, so you might get electrocuted. Professional hair blow dryer is a longer tube and a bigger, higher power fan, and these can have the adjustment, hand movement of the hairstylist. How does hairstylist look? So for example, you're the hairstylist, right? I mean, you're the person and I'm the hairstylist. So how's your day? How's your week? I like your shirt on you. So it's just to make the customer feel at ease and have your professional skills handled. Importantly, these are laundry bags, and I'm gonna go have another video. Everything that I introduce in this video, they'll just be like psh, 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 flash, alright? Some people don't care about my motivational speeches. Because I'm not pounding your hearts. Boop, 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 just yet. I'm just playing. Alright. So these are laundry bags, and you can use it for soup stocks, but preferably not. So you put your very delicate pieces. Not this one, but this is my headband for exercise. And say something cashmere. So this one, cashmere. This is by Banana Republic. It's the same corporate structure with Gap, I guess, and J. Crew, or well, J. Crew and Banana Republic is similar style and marketing, and Banana Republic or J. Crew, one of them, is affiliates of the Gap in the US. So something cashmere deserves something like this, but this one might be for ladies. So we got this. I joke sometimes. They're like, what is your specialty skills? I say I'm an impeccable shopper. I know where everything is. If not, I go on eBay and I tell the store to get into inventory. So something like this. If I do that, they say code Benny Wong, or code him, code so and so. They have a nickname for me, and then they might take it out of the stock. And then they don't look at you. Do you have this in the inventory, or can you check your inventory and see if you have this in stock or in your back room storage? Can you order me one from another store and I'll pick it up? I can pay today. I can pay for now if you can order from another store. Yeah. So this is how you wash your delicate garment. The cashmere or the wired clothing, or the Velcros. Velcros is how do you say that? Fasteners. So the fasteners, yeah. And what else? Combs. How do you clean the combs? Alright, so the combs, you dip it into say some of these. You use a toothpick and you can clean out all the alcohol, sticky hair. This one is for curling a little bit, curling. But I don't comb my hair much anymore. So these you can hang them. With a chain or a tie. What else? For combs, I usually buy the ones that have the air holes, so that it's easier to blow dry through it, or the styling. So these are not easy kind of choices. And then the combs. Oh wait, these are brushes and these are combs. So the combs can cut hair. Of course, you're not going to be very fast instantaneously. Glasses case. So this was an example of colorful socks. If they look shrunk, they're able to stretch out if you put them into softeners. Softeners are okay. So I had a battery difficulty a moment ago. So back into here. If this might look shrunk, these can be put into softener, alright? And overnight, it can be stretchy again. So for example, if I have hot water, I can show you right away. So stretching. Hot water or warm water. So to the left is warm water, right? If not, we buy 2 or 3 water pots. Yeah. Because we have to know which branding of water pots it's good for, you know, the hot days, you know, the sweat. You know. So I have hot water on my hand washing sink. So with the softener, don't taste it. Always smells like, you know. Preserved flowers. Alright, and then these, just soak it in warm water. And just soak it until the video ends. If your house is ever extra dusty by white dust, it is possibly an indication of methamphetamines, ice, crystal meth. So don't do meth.